What's up, my friends? Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to serve anyone who's looking to level up from their current situation. This show is dedicated to helping raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts out there, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a great freaking person is who we are, and living our life to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Yo, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you never miss another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about a powerful concept called the accountability mirror. And pretty much, we're going to be discussing why showing up for yourself really becomes a critical component to leveling up your situation. Like, if you want to grow, if you want to evolve, then you got to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and evaluate your actions, how you've been doing, how you're showing up. You know, you don't want to lie to yourself because, man, so many people lie, and honor system, like honesty, is the best policy. And if you can't be honest, if you can't be truthful with yourself, then man, all you're doing is just fucking lying to yourself, and you're fucking holding yourself back from being the best that you can be. And so, whether you're outdoors revving your engine, or you're preparing to rip that throttle, or fucking navigating through life's twists and turns, mastering self accountability is fucking key, my friends. It really is. So let's dive into this concept of the accountability mirror. Like, what is the accountability mirror, right? And so, the accountability mirror is this idea of like looking yourself in the mirror and pretty much just taking ownership for your actions, like taking ownership for the decisions that you've been making, and like taking ownership of the systems that you're pretty much putting in place in order to achieve those goals or the things that you say that you want to achieve. Because, like, in a time when it seems like so many people don't value their words, like in a time where so many people are just, you know, they fucking lie all the time and they don't hold their words or the things they say. Like, the fucking mirror doesn't lie. The mirror will never lie to you. Like, the reason why the mirror will never lie to you is because it reflects both your strengths and your weaknesses. Like, the mirror, it provides a clear picture of where you want to stand. Like, it makes you look at yourself, like, and it helps when you look at yourself dead in the fucking eye and you take accountability for what you see. Like, if you don't like what you see, then fucking change it. Because there's only so many times that you can sit there and look at yourself and and just not be all right with that situation. Like, I actually, and I used to be like this. I actually know a lot of people that they won't look at themselves in the mirror because they don't like what they see, or like they're not okay with lying to themselves. And so the accountability mirror really just puts you up front and center with yourself. Like, you know, how much value do you put to your word, right? And so, why is the accountability mirror crucial? Well, first and foremost, like, accountability breeds responsibility. Like, it leads you to growth and progress in your life. And accountability, it's really the fuel that drives high performance in anything that we do in life, right? And so maybe you're probably asking yourself, like, how does this shit reflect to motorsports, Randy? Well, just as a driver or a motorcycle rider, or whatever, driver or rider, just like they constantly monitor their speeds, right? Just like they have to make sure that their technique is on point, like just like they have to see how well, like, their competition is performing. If they really want to go and beat them, like, if you got to be able to analyze what you're going up against so that you know how good you're going to have to perform, right? And so self-reflection, it keeps you on track, like, towards achieving like things that you want to do. If you're not willing to self-reflect, then how can you improve? I've said this before and I'll keep saying it. Like, you can't improve what you don't measure. And so if you're not self-reflecting, if you're not self-analyzing, if you're not looking yourself in the freaking mirror, then are you going to really make that progress that you want? And so accountability is key. And so, what are some strategies that you can use to maximize your self accountability? I wanted to give you guys some tips and some keys and some things that you can really implement in your life to fucking move that needle forward. Um, and when I say move the needle, what I mean is that, like the speedometer, the tachometer, as you go faster, as the RPMs increases, the needle, it goes forward, it moves. And so, kind of like, I like that term because, motorsports, and it doesn't matter if it's a car or motorcycle, if it has a tachometer, if it has an engine, that needle is moving as you go faster, as you increase the RPMs. And so in your life, you want to be able to do actions, activities that really drive the needle forward with the things that you want to do. And so, what are some strategies that you can use to maximize your self accountability, right? First is that you got to be able to set clear goals for yourself. And the reason why you got to be able to set clear goals for yourself is because without a direction, like without a destination in mind, without knowing where it is that you want to go, no matter how fast you fucking go, you could be in the fastest car, in the fastest motorcycle, hauling ass 200 plus miles an hour. If you're going in the wrong direction, all you're doing is just getting farther away from what you truly want. Makes sense, right? And so you want to define what success really looks like to you. And I say that because success really means something different for everyone out there. We all have different definitions of success. For some, it could be like, success could be making a lot of money. For others, it could be just, success to me means being in control of my own time and having total freedom. For others, it could be like, success for me is winning races, or maybe it could be, success for me is winning a world championship or setting a world record, or maybe it really can be basic for you as like, success for me is just mastering a new skill. And so once you define what success genuinely means to you, the next step to do is to break things down. And I want you to remember this phrase, like short-term goals pave the road to your long-term goals. Like they really do. Because when you sit there and you analyze and you set these big accomplishments that you want to create with yourself and your life, and you're like, holy crap, how the fuck am I going to accomplish that? How am I going to go that? It seems so far away. And so you start breaking that down into short-term goals, into milestones that you can tackle along the way so you can achieve those bigger things. And that makes it more manageable, right? So you want to break things down. You want to break your goals down into manageable tasks. And also, you want to establish some milestones like for yourself. Like you want to be able to know that as you're going, as you're hitting these milestones, as you're making progress, that you're actually moving forward and you're moving in the direction that you want to go. And so this not only helps you measure your performance, but it helps you stay driven, and it keeps really what's important to you, like what's really, really, really important to you, it keeps it at the top of mind. And so keeping a journal or some type of document that really holds this information is a little hack that keeps you pointing towards your true north, towards the direction that you want to go. It's kind of like your little GPS that you can reflect on. And so I remember at the beginning of this year, I was talking about goals with one of my clients. And I asked him, like at the beginning of the year, I was like, hey, what's really important for you for this year? Like what do you want to accomplish? Like what are your New Year's resolutions? What is it that you have on track? Like, and not only that, but like how do you measure this? Like how do you keep track of this? Like how do you know, how do you even remember, right? And so to my surprise, like I wasn't expecting this at all. And it made me really happy when he shared this with me, because I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense why this guy's so successful. This makes sense why he's fucking crushing it in his career, and he's doing really good. And he goes, hold on, Randy, I got you. And so what he does is he pulls out this freaking document, and it contained not only like his New Year's resolutions of what he wanted to do, but it contained it for the last couple years. I think it was like the last 3 years that he was tracking it, right? And so this dude was on the money. Like were there some things like, and we all have these, like, are there going to be some things that kind of fall off the radar, or maybe some things that we fell out, or some things that we haven't accomplished yet? Sure, man, we all have those. I truly believe like high performers are always striving for more, are always raising the bar. The minute that we're gonna get close to a goal, we're like, all right, let's fucking make it harder, let's make it more, let's make it a more meaningful. And so like we're always gonna have things that like are not accomplished yet, right? So But what the point of this little story that I wanted to make is that um like he was able to show me like his thought patterns for the last 3 years. And as we reviewed it, like he actually was like, man, like we're reviewing it together, and he was like, man, look at this shit. Like look how much I've grown. Like I'm if you look at the trend, it's been upward. Like, man, and this dude was fucking successful. And it made sense why he was successful and why he was crushing in his career and why he was making a lot more money than his peers, is because he knew exactly what he wanted. Like he knew exactly what he wanted, what he needed to work towards to get better. He knew exactly like the things that needed to stay on top of his mind so that he can fucking make that happen. And so you want to document your journey. Like you want to include your achievements, you want to include your setbacks, and you want to include like your lessons learned. Because if you're not seeing what you're learning from these scenarios, these situations, then how are you going to improve? Because writing it down, like, and it helps. He had it on a digital document, but also writing it down, or even on the digital document, what that does is it solidifies the commitment that you have for yourself with these things, and it helps you stay on track towards evolving and becoming the best version of yourself, and making sure that you're doing and you're accomplishing the things that you say you want to do. And so the next step to this is really just to seek feedback, right? And when I say seek feedback, that's exactly like what my client was doing when we were having this discussion. Like we were reflecting. He was like, "Hey, man, what do you think of this?" And we were talking about how he's going to advance and what he's going to do to crush it this year, and what he could do different. Um, and that document really helped him reflect and analyze and kind of just pull back and look at things from a 50,000 foot level. And the trend was upward, man. It was really awesome. And so you want to surround yourself with mentors. You want to surround yourself with coaches. Like pretty much you want to have a badass circle of influence so that they can provide honest assessments of like what it is that you're doing. Like, and then not only that, but so they can give you constructive criticism so that you can evolve. Like you want to embrace all that feedback that you're getting. You want to take it in, and you want to process it. You want to take it in as constructive feedback, because those are truly tools for you to grow and for you to become better, right? And so next, you got to be able to embrace the discomfort. Like I always say this, and I don't know who I heard it from. I heard it from someone, and it's not my phrase. I heard it somewhere, and I repeat it, and it stayed in me. Embrace the suck. Like you got to be able to embrace the suck, and you got to just take what life is giving you and see what you can learn from those situations. Because growth, it often comes from stepping outside of your comfort zone. Like, so you got to be able to embrace the challenges. You got to be able to embrace the failures. You got to be able to embrace the setbacks, the things that fucking really challenge you in life, because those are the things that really help you level up. And all those supposedly called setbacks or failures or challenges that you're like, when you're in deep in it, you're like, oh, but if you could take a step back, if you could reflect on that, if you can have a mindset shift towards having a growth oriented mindset, you'll realize that all that shit is all opportunities for you to learn and for you to grow and for you to improve. That's what we're here to do. And so let's put this accountability mirror into action, right? What is it? How can you do this? And what actions could you take, right? And so first, you need to do this pretty much on a daily reflection. Like I like to do this. Look at yourself in the mirror. When you're brushing your teeth, or so many times I see this. And when I say I see this, because I talk with my clients. I see it. I used to see it in myself, and every now and then I still see it. Is that like we're brushing our teeth and we're just not paying attention. We're just kind of distracted with the world. We have things on our mind. Maybe you're on your phone or whatever it is. Like put that shit down. Be present. And while you're brushing your teeth, or while you're there in the bathroom, like look at yourself in the mirror, man, and like take a moment to like take it in, and be one with yourself, right? And so you want to make it a habit to really look at yourself dead in the fucking eye too, like each and every day. And when I say like the accountability mirror, like, and you want to be able to reflect and look at yourself every day, I mean this shit literally and I mean it figuratively. And so you want to ask yourself, like, man, did I give my best effort today? Like, did I honor my commitments? Like, did I honor my values? And those are like those are really good, powerful questions to ask yourself. But that's like kind of like at the end of the day type thing. Um, if you want to ask yourself some type of questions that like are at the beginning of the day, so that you can have intention towards what you're doing that day, you want to ask yourself things kind of like, man, how am I going to show up today? Like, what kind of person am I going to be today? Like, what needle moving actions am I going to take today that are going to get me closer to the things that I want to achieve? Like, like put those questions out there for your mind to answer, and you will see that your mind will start processing them. Your mind will start reflecting on them. And maybe you might not have found the answer right there, but you'll be going through your day and all of a sudden, bam, that thought pops up. And it's all because you asked for it. And whatever you asked your mind, it starts processing. Your mind likes to answer questions. And so that's why journaling is so big, especially journaling with reflective type questions. It helps you improve a lot because you start asking yourself these questions. And if you don't know the answer right there, you start going through your day, and maybe not that day, but the next day or maybe that week, all of a sudden, bam, the answer pops into you, and you're like, holy shit, that came out of nowhere. But it wasn't that it came out of nowhere. It was that you asked for it, and it can finally connected the dots for you. And so next, you gotta be able to course correct, like because it's not always gonna go as planned. Like things are gonna happen. We have speed bumps. We get sucker punched. Like shit doesn't go always as planned. And so you want to be able to identify your areas of improvement. Like what can I improve? What went wrong? Like what were my mistakes? And when you do encounter mistakes, when you do encounter those setbacks, when you do encounter the fuck ups, you gotta be willing to not sit there and fucking cry about it. Like, don't soak in your emotions. Like, oh my God, this is so whack. Why is this happening to me? I can't believe it. Everything always happens to me. I always have this fucking bad luck. Nah, man, that's the fucking victim mentality. You don't want that shit in your life. And so instead, you want to be able to focus on what you can do differently moving forward. Because if you're gonna sit there and cry about it, you ain't gonna fucking do anything but put yourself down. So I want to see what you can do differently to move forward, because every setback is a chance for you to pivot and for you to evolve and for you to get better. And so when you win, because now we're going to have setbacks, but then we're also going to win. The whole purpose of this is to fucking win, to shine, to thrive. When you fucking win, when you hit some milestones, and when you hit some goals, and when you hit some, some progress, and when you have a badass week, or when you have a badass killer fucking day, you want to be able to acknowledge that stuff. And you want to be able to like pat yourself in the back, and you want to like celebrate those fucking wins, because man, like if you're not celebrating that, if you're not encouraging yourself, if you're not talking to yourself positively, like like you're gonna fucking hold yourself back, and you're not gonna make the progress that you want to, because you're on this constant negative trend, right? And so you want to feed yourself positivity, because positive reinforcement, what it does is that it fuels your motivation. But not only that, like motivation, that term, I don't like to use it too much, because motivation comes and goes. I like to be driven. I like to be inspired. I like to be empowered. And so not only does positivity like reinforce that, but what it does is that it reinforces those positive habits that you have been doing. And so when you've been doing good, when you've been crushing it, when you've been killing it, when you've been having successful days, and so you have enough successful days, you win the week. You win enough weeks, you win the month. You win enough months, you win the year. And so you got to be able to celebrate that shit. You got to be able to soak it in, and you got to be able to, reflect and be like, man, I've been really doing good, because that's what helps you build your confidence. And so one last thing on this, on this super important. The last thing is that it's one that gets us the most. I'm human. We're all human. We're gonna whatever. And the reason why I say this one gets us the most is because generally we all seem to have this tendency to slack after an accomplishment. Like after, I've noticed it in myself. After I finish an Ironman, I haven't done an official one, like a full Ironman, but I've done the Ironman 70.3, which is half the distance. I am gonna complete that Ironman. I'm gonna do it on my fucking 40th birthday. I'm out to fucking prove a point. Um, but generally, after we accomplish big things, after we hit these big goals, what ends up happening is that we start fucking slacking. It seems to be like human nature, right? And so you gotta be able to stay committed. You gotta be able to stick to the process. You gotta be able to stick to the plan no matter what. And so after you celebrate and after you're like, okay, whatever, get back to work. Like, have your celebration moment, enjoy it, do what you gotta do, but then get back to work. And um that's something really that we're my wife and I are really working on is building that consistency, not just a lot of ups and then downs and a lot of ups and downs. Like we're working on more on building that consistency long term. And so you got to stay committed to the process because that's what really matters. You got to realize that self accountability is a long term journey. Like it's a lifelong journey. It's not a destination. It's something that we do every day for the rest of our lives. Because you're not going to just get better today. Maybe this year you'll be the best you can be, and then next year, what, you're going to be a piece of shit? Nah, man. Like, this is about a lifelong journey. It's not a destination. It's a complete journey. It's about getting better every day for the rest of your fucking life. That's how you become the best that you can be. And so you want to keep your foot on the gas. You want to hold that bitch wide fucking open. Like, and you want to stay committed to your freaking growth. Like, you want to keep striving to become the best that you can be on a consistent basis. Remember this phrase. This is a cool phrase. Consistently consistent. A little tongue twister there, but consistently consistent is how we roll. And if you can stay consistently consistent, you will see that it don't matter. This is why I actually say 1% better every day is because if you can stay consistent every day on just doing something positive for yourself, on just being better than you were yesterday, small tasks. Don't make huge strides of improvement because when you try to do that, like you fall off so fast. And so consistently consistent on improving yourself, even if it's small, over the long-term game, you're going to look back and you'll be like, holy shit, look how far we've come. So stay consistent. You got to keep this shit for the long haul. And if you do it long enough, I promise you this, that you will fucking outperform the competition. And the reason the reason why I say that is because most don't realize that the majority of the people quit. And so all you have to do is fucking stay in it long enough and you win the fucking game. Like, as long as you keep going, the growth will never stop. Right? And so I'm gonna leave you with this. Like, the accountability mirror isn't just a tool, it's a fucking mindset. Like, by embracing self-accountability, you take ownership. Like, you empower yourself to take control of your destiny and you become the best version of yourself. Like, whether you're deep into your passions for motorsports or maybe you're tackling personal or even professional milestones, like, remember that success starts with you, my friends. So keep pushing the fucking limits of what's possible. I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the fucking ground, and I'm calling out all the motorsport enthusiasts out there who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's prove to the world that we're truly some badass motherfuckers. Those of you who made it to the end, you got yourself a win, and I truly, truly, genuinely appreciate you investing your valuable time into the Live Wide Open podcast. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others improve is the mission that God has tasked us with. We are driven individuals working on breaking the fucking stereotype and becoming the best that we can be. Join me on this journey while we help as many motorsport enthusiasts as possible to create the best lives that we can imagine. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you freaking waiting for, my friends? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you never miss another episode. You can follow me on my Instagram. My handle is Wide Open Randy. And if you felt any connection to today's message, man, I genuinely ask that you share this on your stories because those are the actions that really help us spread the message. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friends. Peace.